The Super Type Legends debuted on OPTC Global on the 29th of September 2020. This Sugo-Fest celebrated the 10.0 update, which introduced the mechanic of Super Types to the game. On the Japanese version of One Piece Treasure Cruise, this was their anniversary celebration, which built new levels of hype. Characters in this batch included Tony Chopper, Celebrate the Astonishing Cruise; Nami, Celebrate the Astonishing Cruise; Don Quixote Doflamingo, Hope Crushing Heavenly Demon; Kami Eneru, Merciless Lightning; Trafalgar Law, Life's Desire; Boa Hancock, Dedication to Straw Hat Luffy. And the Sugo-Fest exclusive we'll cover today was the headliner of the celebration, with a powerful mono-strength type focused captain effect that was able to grant up to a 5x boost, along with a special that would provide a powerful orb boost while simultaneously changing the slots to matching. Introducing Monkey D. Luffy, Future Surpassing Python. In this series, we'll be traveling back in time to experience some of the older Sugo-Fest exclusive characters in their prime, aiming to show just what it was like to use these characters on their debut. I hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's enter the Legends of OPTC. So thank you very much for checking out yet another episode of the Legends of OPTC. So the next 4 episodes are going to be dedicated to one Sugo-Fest, and that is the version 10.0 celebratory event. This was a massive Sugo-Fest on Global. This was actually one of Japan's anniversary Sugo-Fests, which is why it was such a massive celebration on Global. So as you saw in the intro of the video, 4 Sugo-Fest exclusives during this celebration. There's also a bunch of rare recruits and stuff, so we're not going to muck around. We're going to jump into this. We will talk about the rare recruits first. I guess we'll touch on the int rare recruits in next week's video when we tackle Katakuri, but let's go ahead and start with Boa Hancock. So they have this whole batch. For those of you who don't know, we have 2 strength legends and we have 2 int legends. This batch was focused on using strength characters and int characters for the introduction of Super Type. So they brought along a strength related batch here. So we have Boa Hancock as our strength rare recruit here. This character, special ability, would reduce attack down and special bind by 5 turns, also resisted as a crewmate, which is great, and then changes block, bomb, badly matching into matching, and locks slots for 1 turn. Not an awful special ability, just straight up utility and orb change, nothing really too much to complain about that. Trafalgar Law debuting alongside Boa Hancock here. Special ability would deal 100,000 fixed damage to all enemies, reduces bind, despair, paralysis by 5, and resilience by 5. Again, mainly focused on utility because the main damage dealing effects would actually kind of originate from Luffy and Sabo's abilities. There are also some like limited time rare recruits in the Nami and the Chopper. I guess we'll talk about Chopper briefly. This Chopper actually does see some niche play even today in Treasure Cruise because of his support effect. The actual special though would remove 5 turns of threshold. It does give you tap timing bonus damage, which is pretty redundant most time today. And also if you have 5 or more strength characters, it gives you a 70% HP recovery. The support effect of this guy attaching to Nami or Zoro, if you use a special, remove threshold by 2 turns and you get a recovery. Like, it's just a good support effect that will actively see play, which is quite nice. There were also a free-to-play Cavendish, there was a free-to-play Sakazuki, and then of course it moved on to stuff later on. But this batch, focusing on these legends, let's talk about the legend we're going to be covering today, which is Monkey D. Luffy. So this was the headliner unit of the anniversary. You had the Monkey D. Luffy here, who evolved, of course, into the Snakeman. So, of course, introduction of Super Type, big deal here. Strength, fighter, free spirit. Now, this guy actually, for those of you who don't know, as of the recording of this video, which is the 20th of May, 2025, this character doesn't have a super evolution yet. So we're looking forward to seeing what kind of buffs he may receive in the future. But his captain ability here would give 4 times attack boost to strength characters, which at the time was quite good, boosting all other characters' attack by 3.75 times, and then you get HP and recovery boost of 1.3 and making recovery slots matching. But then if a strength character has specifically a strength or a recovery slot, it's a 5 times boost instead. So being able to reach that 5 times multiplier was insanely strong. Of course, it was only just for one type, and they had to have a specific slot. But if you were able to get it, that was very strong back in the day. The special ability would deal 100 times his attack in fixed damage to all enemies, so just straight up massive damage. And then also changes all slots into matching. and a 2.5 times orb boost for 1 turn. Just straight up generic. You don't even have to use him as a captain. Even if you use him as a crewmate, being able to get a guaranteed full board of slots and matching orb boost is quite strong. Of course, it doesn't go through block slots, but it's still a powerful special ability for when it first came out. And then, of course, the introduction of Super Type. The Super Type ability, you did require one of the following units, which was Ace, Sabo, or any of the Straw Hats at the time. Jinbei did not count because Jinbei was not technically a part of the crew during this time period. And the Super Special would deal 75 times his attack and type as damage to all enemies, and give you 2 times attack for 1 turn, and then Strength characters become Super Strength. So you get the enhanced color affinity on your strength units. He would provide the attack boost. The special ability would give you the orb boosting effect. So this is like a one-man wrecking ball that would provide, you know, most of those key buffs that you would want when you're going up against content. Attack boost, orb boost, matching slots. Pretty good looking stuff, right? Nothing really too crazy. His support effect wasn't great, but still, when he debuted, this was one of the best characters in the game. You wanted to have this guy because super types were incredibly powerful. Being able to just get that free attack boost whenever you wanted. He had lots of wave clearing potential too, which was a lot of fun. So I guess without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into Treasure Cruise, covering Monkey D. Luffy Snakeman. And of course, as we move forward into the next episodes, we're going to be going back and forth between the strength and the int batch. So next episode we have Katakuri, then we'll have Sabo, and then we'll finish off with Blackbeard before moving on to the next Sugo-Fest celebration after that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the game. So we are now in game with Monkey D. Luffy Snakeman. Now, one of the great things about the Strength Super Type batch when they first debuted is that it gave a very great direct buff to Douglas Bullet, which is what we're going to be covering in this episode. So we've got Monkey D. Luffy as our dedicated captain. Of course, we will be able to activate his Super Type because we have Uso Hachi on the crew. We've got some other key characters here, of course. And then Douglas Bullet is so great because remember, Bullet as a captain has the capabilities of being super effective against all types. So even in a scenario where you come up against a quick character with a fully strength team, that obviously is going to be a pretty bad thing for you. However, Bullet being super effective is a massive deal because it doesn't even matter. He's just going to hit incredibly hard, and it's going to work so well with Luffy. This was a great combo that worked for a long time, honestly. People wanted to use the full strength team. Bullet really helped with that. Even though he doesn't have super type, we're going to try go ahead and use it today. So of course we're going to go against the Hody Jones Coliseum, which I actually have uploaded a video throughout this week. By the time this video is public, I made a video talking about, if you're jumping in during the 11th anniversary, you want to go pick up some of these free-to-play characters from Coliseums, from Clashes. And to be honest, like, Coliseum Hody Jones is one of the best characters you could be abusing. It's just such a good character. Definitely go ahead and pick him up. So first thing is first, we need cooldown. That is very, very important to us. So we need to make sure that our specials are ready to go. And that's one of the good things about the super typing, right? Is that, as long as you've activated the condition, you can activate this whenever you want. There's no real cooldown to it. Although there are some characters that have very obscene conditions for their abilities, and you will have to stall a little bit in order for them to work. But for the most part, characters have pretty easy conditions that allow you to just activate a free special ability that grant a pretty nice buff for your crew, right? And Luffy started things off quite strong with his super type ability, being able to do some damage, being able to get that 2 times attack boost. Just overall a really great character. Everyone wanted this character on release. I remember when, I remember exactly where I was when they officially revealed these characters' abilities for the first time. I remember I was in a parking lot, in a supermarket, and dude, I was going crazy reading these abilities, seeing they're like 5 times attack boost. Like, bro, that's some crazy stuff. It was wild, man. So they did a really good job at hyping up these characters. Everyone was pumped for this, of course, and the fact that they gave a lot of good representation for, not only like Luffy, but they gave Sabo a legend, they gave Katakuri a legend, my boy, Mr. Slam Jam. Really hoping that we see a Super Sugo Katakuri at some point. I would really love to see that. Okay. So, we have stage 3, which is Hyozo, so he's going to poison us, but that's not going to be a problem because we have the Ivankov support. It really wouldn't be dealing that much damage anyway, so it's probably not the end of the world. We go ahead and switch our Arlong crew to give us just a very minor base attack boost of 22. Watch out, 22 whole attack. And then we can go ahead and use our super type because I don't think we're going to be needing it a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and use it here, showing you the animation of how it worked. So again, for those of you who don't know what super typing actually is, and this goes for super class as well to an extent, it basically buffs the ability of your natural type and class. So a super type gives you a 25% color affinity boost, but it also does work in the negative fashion, right? Which is why Douglas Bullet is so well here. And then super classes, instead of giving you a 25% bonus to color affinity, it gives you a 20% bonus, just flat out damage bonus. But it also includes HP as well, so it's just a straight up stat increase. So, we do have our base attack boost, we have our attack boost from Luffy's super type, so now we can go ahead and do our damage. We should be able to kill Hyozo. Let me just pull up real quick, how much HP does this guy have, just so we can get the info. 3.35, so especially when Bullet goes to perform his attack, yeah, this guy's going down. He's going down a funky town. We don't even need to attack with all characters. Bullet is going to go crazy there. Yeah, okay, that was more than enough damage. So stage 4, this is probably the trickiest stage here, but it shouldn't be a problem for us. So we've got all the guys. We've got Ikaros, we've got Daruma, Zio, and what's his name? Zio, Ikaros, Daruma, and what's this guy's name? The guy with the hammer, this strength guy. I don't remember his name. Either way, it's not important. These guys are going down. Alright, so they just basically do a lot of different stuff, a lot of defensive effects. So, first thing is first, let's go ahead and use the Usohachi special ability. So Usohachi, great rare recruit when he first came out. This rare recruit took me so long to get as well. Like I did do over 30 multis on the banner when he came out to actually get Usohachi. Removing those defensive effects, giving us some cooldown reduction. Let's go ahead and switch, and we can use the special ability of Arlong to give us a damage increase. Remember with how he works, giving us just a free 2x damage bonus. Unfortunately, we're not at a low HP threshold, so we can't get like the super beneficial effects here, but this is still more than enough damage. So what we can do is just with this alone, base attack buff of how much this time? Only 10 whole attack increase. That's crazy. That with the attack boost of Arlong should be okay. I think we're going to go ahead and use Bullet as well. So Bullet, I believe my one does have the level limit break, but again, it shouldn't be a problem. Just with the way that it works with Bullet is however much damage he does gets dealt as end of turn damage. So if he does 1,000,000, I think you multiply it by 2 or 3, and then he does that much end of turn damage. So we just do our attacks, finish with Bullet, and then we will just win. But I'm pretty sure we're going to kill them before we even get to Bullet. So let's see how we do. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, easy. No problem whatsoever. Okay, now we get to Hody. Now, Hody does have, how much HP? 18 million. The funky thing about Hody, and again, another reason why we decided to bring Bullet as our friend captain, is because Hody has the ability to revive after he dies, and he also goes ahead and changes his typing. He becomes a quick type character. Very, very annoying. So, let's go ahead and activate some specials. Let's go ahead and use Luffy. So, this animation of Luffy is actually quite good when it first came out. Really cool special animation for this guy. Especially because, like, of how old this character is, right? Black Mamba, of course. Gratatatata. Full board of matching slots. We get our 2.5 times orb boosting effect. And then Jinbei here can go ahead and give us our color affinity boost. Also doing a bit of damage there. And I believe this should be enough damage to get through. I don't think we're going to need too much else. So let's go ahead and hit our perfects. And that's going to be that. Well, I guess technically we should finish our attack chain with Douglas Bullet because he does give more damage to himself. Whereas Luffy gives everyone that straight bonus. And remember, Luffy's giving a 5 times attack bonus because we have strength slots on our strength characters. And then let's go ahead and hit our perfects and get rid of Hody. Let's do it. More than enough damage. Oh my lord, that was more than enough damage. Just with an orb boost and color affinity. Yeah, this guy went down. Holy cow, dude. So yeah, as you can see, he becomes a quick type character. He revives. What else does he do? He does some damage, but we eat that up. And now we can go ahead and use our Big Mom special to finish off the clip here. And even though obviously this gives like a really big color affinity boost, which is normally really bad against a quick enemy, but we have Douglas Bullet, so it's really not that big of a deal. Of course, my Big Mom is actually level limit broken. It's not the end of the world. It would have been more than enough damage anyway. So we'll go ahead and kill, and then last tap with Bullet, and then we should be good to go. Hey, we got the last tap with the Luffy, which is cool, so we get the little cut in there. And there we go. Monkey D. Luffy, super type. Just being able to get that free special is so valuable. Luffy's super type on release was probably the best super type out of the 4. Which definitely helped out. Just getting a free 2x attack boost whenever you wanted was just such a big deal, right? You guys will see as we move on to the other characters and you see how they're supposed to be used, and kind of the design of the units is far different from what Luffy was doing. But still, Luffy was a bunch of fun to use. Really hope that we see a super evolution and level limit break for this guy in the future, which will make this guy even more fun to use. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Also, the super type Katakuri in this batch doesn't have a 6+ quite yet, so I guess maybe they're waiting for some type of celebration to bring them out, but really looking forward to it. But anyways, it's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.